Divinity Original Sin 2 is a huge game with a fair few challenges, so obviously we weren't going to be able to cover all the tips in just one video. Thankfully, you clever lot left tons of great suggestions in the comments of our beginner's guide, so here are 7 more tips to help you through Divinity Original Sin 2. As SmevMev notes, one of the changes from the previous game is that NPCs will notice when their belongings go missing. If you pickpocket someone, they'll pat themselves down and look around, pointing the finger at you if you're lingering. If you pilfer a room, someone will come check out where their prized painting has vanished to. So make sure you flee the scene of the crime, or be prepared to chat, fight, or bribe your way out of the problem. A side note about stealing and thievery, if you find a chest that you can't lockpick, just take the whole damn thing with you and open it a few levels later. A tip from Sondra Hyan, definitely pronounced that wrong, is to flee battles if you're getting your god-woken ass handed to you. Enemies aren't scaled to your level, so you may come across bad guys that will stomp you in one hit. If that's the case, use the flee option, get out of dodge, and come back when you've got another skill point or 2 under your belt. A very useful tip from Say Emma is how to effectively position your party. You can unchain characters so you can control them independently. This is super useful for getting your party into advantageous spots. Sneak your rogue behind an enemy for an easy backstab, or your spellcaster or wayfarer somewhere up high so they can get a damage boost once the fireballs and crossbow bolts start flying. The extra damage and saved action points can really give you the edge in some tougher fights. Nova Nihil correctly points out that skeletons have an extra trick up their sleeves. Their bony fingers can be used instead of lockpicks, meaning that you can sell any real lockpicks to traders for more potions and gear. Even if your skeleton is a spellcaster, it's worth a level or 2 in thievery or equipping them with an item that boosts the thief skill just so they can make the most out of their pointy digits. Side note, while we're talking about fingers and hands, lizards can dig stuff up, so no worries if there's buried treasure and you're short a shovel. As Sarah PL mentions in their comment, teleporting can be incredibly useful both in combat and outside in the world. In the first area of the game, you can find gloves of teleportation, which while not great when it comes to armor stats, do give you the ability to teleport. In combat, this is great for getting members of your party into advantageous positions or out of harm's way, but my favourite thing to do is teleport that pesky spellcaster right between your 2 melee fighters. When you're out in the world, you can use the ability to reach some faraway treasure or teleport yourselves over gaps or even out of jail cells. And keep your eyes open for the teleporter pyramids at the end of Act 1. You can really get creative with a pair of these bad boys. Sneaking them into hard to reach spaces or bouncing between party members almost feels like cheating. And since your inventories are basically magic, you can move them between party members when miles apart. Katarina FM commented that it's important to use your map effectively. If you've been playing Divinity Original Sin 2, you'll know it's a hugely dense game. There's no wasted space here, nearly every spot of the map has something for you to find. With that being said, you will sometimes find tempting excursions that you just aren't ready for. It may be a fight that's too tough right now, or some treasure that you can't unlock yet. The game won't hold your hand and make a note of it for you, so be sure to make a marker on your map of what discovery you've made and come back when you're ready for it. Be it a locked door, a tricky dungeon, an NPC you're having trouble persuading, instead of wandering around thinking, I'm sure there was something here, jot it down in your map, just like you're in the Scouts. The final tip that we have is to make sure you're using the right person for the conversation. Some characters will have unique dialogue choices that you should make the most of, but more importantly, you should try to ensure that the person doing the talking is the right party member for the job. Use the character with the best persuasion stat if the NPC you're trying to convince is being a stick in the mud, and if you're wandering around leading your party with your main character, it's easy to forget that they may not be the best choice when it comes to talking to merchants. So take note of who's got the best stats in things like bartering and persuasion, so you can charm your way to victory or save yourself a few gold pieces. So those are some more tips that will hopefully help you triumph in the world of Rivellon. If you've got any more to add, the weirder the better, make sure to leave them in the comment section below and they may just make it into the next video. If you want some more beginners tips, then make sure you check out our previous guide, and for more content, make sure you subscribe to GameSpot.